Hello and welcome to Spirit Insight Celebration of Consciousness. I'm your host, Loreli Drache, along with this mystical more that we are so blessed with. Today we have with us Andena Sananda Kumara. She lives her truth, soul integrated as an embodied and heart-centered conduit of divine frequency. Andena serves as a quantum energy alchemist for all that is of the energy of oneness. She's the YouTube host of the upcoming series, The Moment, and co-host of the Quantum Light Connection. She's the content creator for 13 Moons magazine. Today, she is sharing with us light language. Welcome, Andena.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be present. Shall I go right into my moment right now? Okay, cool. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be with all of you today. As Loreli mentioned, I am a quantum energy alchemist, and that's the umbrella term I use to encompass all that I do. Fully fleshed out in all the intuitive abilities, all that stuff is already online. And so one thing that I do, one way that I channel or express those abilities is through the expression of light language. So light language is the language of the soul. It has the ability to bypass our logical mind and speak to those areas of our physical embodiment, spiritual embodiment, emotional body, mental body, all those things that need to be brought back online, back into remembrance of our divine truth as divine beings in manifest physical form. And so I've been invited today to share a light language transmission for you in the form of spoken and song. It comes out in a number of ways. And so as I go into this moment, I'll just ask that everyone take a deep breath and allow yourself to settle in the space of the heart. Because it is in that space of the heart that we are connected to the all. The heart space is a portal to all that is. And so from that space, are you open and receptive to all that will come forth? So as we enter that space, you can close your eyes if you feel so moved and just move into the space of the heart and just allow yourself to settle in that space. And as you do, will we come with a sharing. Wire atun jetrama awa, fantu kesetramu ora a inde asotrama atua, jo ameri osoprakai iye, viaro komatu elite ra andua, za a reasho, wira anieto setramo ue, va ante asoa, ya du ameri ashoa. Vi are osotramo ue ande asotrama atua. Ja arimatakea ba a teo firakai sua mire asontrakea da a do ambure asotrakainte mire oso ambarute asotrakai ja amatukea zerea parte uira mote a seru andu shedu Vere o Jeremu o se de acero Vero o matu Cero de cero Kere o Shera no sore o Sera Faro no Shere me sore o Faro so Stereo Sera Shero Paro no. Shiro on sore a. Sere. Yaro moso o. Sere o she. Zero che ando ama sere anshe cheo sando koromo sere asho sere paranoso o Tere anse, shere, neo, te amore ansete abatu kereatu kamatua. Je amarute ansete aliete maatu kea. Za aru shendreke maatu amaru shendreke mao. Jire atua. Viarmatu kemba aiete ansore atea. Viarakamotu kwembariatu cambiatu aite anso ariate. Jerama atu de aseria tukai. Shondu armatikia. Via armotikia sa. Aite maua. Za aria chekrakama ue takai. Serekamuriante asotrama ue. Va a do anyote asotramu asierka. Viarka sutramu uera kainse, viaru shendreke owa, iete maatua, ansere ashua, firmatu ansere asierkai, yatua, zere asho, mire oshundrekia, de aromote asuta kai, aniete ambaru shende asotrama ue, jiremata kai sea. Asoria, asere asho, vere ambaru shandrakema uwe, yesem de ke orma ate asoa, piandukea, jeremata, asiarakai, pirakamuria shea, bearakai, miata, sea. Uiamute andukere o. Sere anio te mature anduke, viarama ue andu sheto, tere anduke remo o se, adu, shira ambaruke ando, bi anduke re aso an. De anduera ose we Maria ko sere ande so anse ze amba tu sire o shera ose ve andu sere o Miraka ise te o yare o se am se o vi arrimatu she andua yatu ambarute asiare kai jorama asu ambaria sotrake andua yatu te asua barate. Wiarimatu and sheri atea. Yoarimatu andea asua. Viarikande asatramo urekai ieta. Asearakainda. You ariate asua. Va ambere oshendrekea. Dase amore a. Dasute. Rasute. Wiarikandu amatua. Jete amore. Dase. Rasute. Da. Mire atukia, diasa terkendea, mire antukia, dase. allow yourself to take a deep breath and settle back into the space of the heart. Settle back into the space of the heart. And with love and lots of gratitude, those who have come forth offer gratitude to you who are all present for permitting us the opportunity to share in this way, to allow us to speak to the heart space in this way, to allow us to share with your soul essence of remembrance of its truth, such that it can become fully fleshed and embodied within this physical space. For as you allow yourself to receive and integrate that which has been shared, will you help bring forth that which will serve not only yourself, but the collective whole, which exists in human form at this time. So we appreciate the opportunity to share with you. And yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Antonia. That was beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Keshia Santero. Keshia is a spiritually transformative experiencer who, through a spiritual emergency, found her way back to herself with the realization she's a highly sensitive person. Today, she's going to share her spiritual journey from what she saw as a curse to creating her own heaven here on earth. Welcome, Keshia.
Okay, I'm muted. Well, oh, hello. It's great to see you all. I'm very excited to be here and share my story. So yeah, how this all started, I call it now an spiritual emergency. At the time, it's what was relayed to me as psychosis. I, went from what I felt living a normal life to, being bombarded by, everything that I thought not to be real happening to me. So I began seeing and hearing things, specifically related to a relationship I was in, and people that I spent my time with, and so I was seeing things, and like I was hearing my friends in my relationship, being together and such, and a woman crying and whatnot. And so this was very strange for me. And at first I thought it was just like, I didn't know that it was psychosis. And so I thought it was real. I thought I was just able to hear my neighbors and hear things in the other room. And so that continued for a while. And then, the people I was hearing and the things that I was experiencing, I started noticing their behaviors changing when we were together in person. And so finally, it got to a point where, all this was happening and I couldn't figure out how. And so, I finally opened up a little bit to my parents about what was happening with me. And I asked them to come sit outside my apartment. I said, I'm hearing people outside my apartment. I think it sounded like people were messing with me, and I couldn't figure out how. And so it was when they, sat there and came back the next day. I was like, we didn't see anything. And I was confused. I said, what do you mean? Like, I was hearing him all night. And so that was the moment when, it really dawned on me that this, like I was really confused at that time, because then everything shifted from, thinking that I could just hear really well and all this stuff, that I was losing my mind a little bit. And so this continued. There was my very first, I consider it, my psyche breaking happened on Halloween, where I had an experience that I was hearing people at my windows and such. And while I was getting ready to go out for the evening, and there was a moment when I had a flash of my boyfriend being in my apartment, and we were fighting. Well, we both had a hand on a bag. At this time, I was in my addiction, and the bag to me, it looked like it had drugs inside. I in this experience, the bag broke and everything flew everywhere. And next thing I'm coming to, I'm sitting against my tub and I'm crying and I'm, trying to sort out my reality. And I see the stuff all over the carpet. And I go, whoa, like I'm really like going through my mind, like I remember this happening, but like here I am. It's like time kind of shifted. So I go over and I pick the things up, and it wasn't drugs, but it looked like little malleable, like well, the point of it is that they were not there prior to this experience. And so, and that really blew my mind, because they weren't there before. I saw this happening, and then I came to, and it just like, but there was that like evidence, if you want to say. And so my friend that was supposed to pick me up, I called her, was having her come over. And by the time she got there, I was full mental breakdown. And as she was walking up, I was still hearing these people, and as she says, okay, I'm here, I hear, hey, does Keshia know you're here? And they say no. And then she walks in my door. So I'm still in this mindset that these people are outside. And so I'm trying to talk to her, and she's so invested in going out for Halloween night that she's kind of just like, are you coming or what? Like, so I didn't find the validation or, the support that I was looking for or wish I had at that time. And so that really was a frenzy to my mind. And it was my psyche, my reality just really started stretching after that. So this led me to a point where I started isolating myself more, and because I was really starting not to trust people, because I was always hearing the things of, from the people I was around and this and that. And so it kind of escalated, throughout the years after that, as I continued to, live like this. I did end up in, going to 5th floor, which was the psych unit at the hospital where I lived. And I was diagnosed with the schizoaffective disorder, started medications and such for that. And I found that aside from the tremendous side effects and the mental fog, and just, it got me out of my reality, but not in, it got me further away from, okay, how do I explain this? It didn't help any of the experiences I was having. It had made no effect on them, but yet it put me further in a fog and a fatigue and just further away from myself. And so I could tell then at that point that and so it kept me in this place where the medication isn't doing what it, what I'm told it will. And yet my experiences are so real to me, and I'd play detective and stuff, when I'm hearing people outside my window or this or that, I do like baby powder on the floor, because I'm hearing people walking around, and I'm doing all these like reality checks and fact checks to see, like my judgment, because I was really questioning my own judgment at that time. And so, aside from the things external of me, I was also, the voices I was hearing were, not kind, not nice. I was hearing a lot of what I would refer to as derogatory remarks and, negative put downs and such. And it'd go in cycles, it'd start with nightmares, and then it'd go into the voices would be more intrusive, and then to where it would be like everything was more manifested around me, I would see the spirits around me and such. And in those moments, it'd go from fear to beautiful to, like in each of those, there was a message for me. One experience, I was in my room in my bed, and I had spirits around me, and they were telling me of an experience, which I refer to now as like a Kundalini awakening. And at this time, I viewed love as dualistic, like outside of me, that's something you received from other people. And so they were telling me about how, when two people who are perfect matches for each other come together. And in my mind, I was thinking, in terms of, like physical sexual relations, how they, when they know they're a match, then they, their souls like rise together and such, which I, in terms of ascension and, the Kundalini rising. So there were beautiful moments like that, but then they were followed with just such fear and resistance, if you will. And so that continued, and I became more and more of a shell of myself, trying different medications, which, just more side effects and such, and then it got to a point where, things around me, were moving. At this time I vaped, and my vape would always end up in spots it wasn't, and things that I, used to just look over as an, oh, I must have forgot, I must have this, but realizing that in this hypervigilant state of trying to see everything because I'm feel all these things are happening, I was recognizing those things much more and very aware of that. And so it went, and it was that, and within, my gut telling me, like, this is real. But the disconnect in that for me was that what, my body, my spirit was telling me was real, I didn't want to accept that, because at that time that was scary to me. But yet I couldn't shake that feeling until I got to a point when, there were a few, not experiences, but the way I internalized some things were so traumatic to the point where I, just mind shifted and said, okay, this is a, psychosis, this is mental illness. And I tried operating that way, kind of just shutting myself off to the things that were surfacing for me. And that, it was also, it was like lying to myself, and it didn't work well for too long. I wouldn't say it worked well at all, but let's see. And so as as that continued, and I continued to isolate myself further and further, it just, things just continued to snowball. And I was just seeing how I was a shell of myself. And then I began to, how do I want to say this? So throughout those experiences, one that I had, there was one night when I found myself walking around the house, and things were catching my eye. I was being called to them, and I was finding each one of them. I'm looking at it, and I was like feeling connected to it. And every piece I found, I felt like I was being led like on a journey, and it was really profound and powerful. And then I get to the junk drawer, and I've never been so amazed by a junk drawer, but a deck of cards, and I'm looking at the card and seeing what's calling to me. And before you know it, it's like 3 a.m. and I like shake my head, I look around, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then it went from that, the energy of the being on this mission, being on this, this journey, to back, like back in my reality. And I was like, and really like, whoa, what just happened? And in my mind, my logic mind went, you just spent like 5 hours looking in a drawer. But and so there were moments like that like I really discounted along the way, because I felt like it was just at some points even just side effects from the medications I was on. But as it continued, and as what really helped was when I finally got to a point where well, here, I'll move through. So that was the backstory and the like depth of the experience. So as I trudging forward, as I started choosing myself, there was a moment when I finally admitted that everything I was doing, the people I was spending my time around, the my addiction at the time, all those things that I was spending my time and investing my energy in were not serving me. So once I finally, declared that this sucks, then I got a download, and it came through, and it was just like, this is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. And it clicked, and I was like, oh, okay. Because throughout the years, tarot had come to me. A lot of other things did, but then as I would Google them, I'd read that it's like satanic and other things. And, a big fear of mine was being possessed and things and other things, because when I read about the third eye, so, I read something that said it, has to do with opening the door, and those are demons and such, and not, already being in a fear-based position, anything else I was like, insinuating bad things, I just shut them off. So when I used to try to search for answers and, into what my experiences were, every time I started going down a rabbit hole, it seemed like those things would manifest. Like one time I'd see things, coming in my apartment, like floating heads and stuff. And that was scary to me, it seemed like every time I went down a rabbit hole, I found myself back into 5th floor. And so I guess I backing up a little bit. So it was around those points when I, shifted into the mindset of the this is I'm just gonna say this is a diagnosis and try to align my life with that. And so I realized at one point that just because I'm not going down the rabbit hole doesn't mean there are no rabbit holes. And so I finally, when I got that download, then I started doing more. I started looking into, spirituality in a different light. And it was at that time when, my my auditory and my visuals and such just kind of ceased. It was like a period of grace as I stepped into this chapter in my life where I was learning about spirituality in terms of love and light, and all the and all in that sense. And then there was about 3 months after that, when I really was doing better about my negative thoughts and such, I got a message, and it said that they're coming back, and the voices and all that I was hearing started coming back. And what's beautiful is I realized that as I've been sharing my story, each time I've shared it, it has led me to opening new doors and new understandings and greater things about myself. And so what has really helped me, because before I realized the way that I was interpreting things were very literal, very with my eyes, very with what do I want to say, my perspective. And so in looking into the more spiritual sense, greater perspectives, broader points of view and such, I've been able to really, I guess, step out of that fear zone. And the greatest growth that I've done for me in my story is realizing that those fears and things that I was hearing, experiencing, those feelings that were coming to me were, in fact, what I refer to as my demons, or my shadows. They were the parts of me and they were scary to me because I had suppressed them and shut them down so long. And so, it was that stuff surfacing and me, facing it, and feeling like and in that space, not being able to escape that. So, and I used to just see, go by what I was hearing, what I was seeing, but the translation between how something was making me feel is the message. And that's what I've been, my understanding has been coming to me lately, is that it's all about how something makes me feel, rather than the literal interpretation. And so, and I really and how I say the voices and such used to be derogatory and this and that, I realized that that is how I actually talk to myself. It was nothing, and thinking that other people could hear my thoughts and this and that, had to do with certain responses from traumas and such growing up, and different things, just everything, how everything is so connected, and just it really was, like myself showing up, the self that was unilluminated, that I had not met yet, did not know, was not aware of, yeah, coming to me. And so my whole, spiritual transformative experience has been my transformation itself, of befriending myself and integrating with all parts of me, and how it took courage and bravery to get to a place where I was willing to do that. And so
Thank you, Keshia,
thank you.
for sharing your story. And you've come a long way even since I've met you, and in your understanding and working through all your transformative experiences. And I thank you for sharing those and inspiring us with that today.
Thank you.
At this time, we usually open it up to the fellowship to share anything that has spiritually moved them, or random acts of kindness, or ways and synchronicities that they have seen spirit move through their life. If there's anyone who would like to share at this time. Yana, you were waving your hand first. Did you want to share? Hope you had to unmute. Did you get it? You just, I'm not sure what device you're on. It's the little,
Okay, yeah,
there
there
we
we
go.
go. There we go. I wanted to say to Keshia, I found your story very beautiful, and it touched me very much, because it's a lot. My story is the same. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that, but I've just kind of pushed these things aside. But I do realize that that it is an integration process. So yeah,
Thank you for
and these
sharing.
things mean so much. So thank you. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, it's okay. Anything you want to share, Yana? It's fine. Thank you so much.
Well, I can share my part of the story, but it's a lot of it's the wisdom that I have that comes out of my part is that you're in an unknown territory, and you're in the dark, and you're slowly finding parts of yourself, and you're slowly making a map of yourself. And once you realize that these are parts of you and parts of yourself, and that you know where these things are, and you now know how to go to a certain place within yourself, within your consciousness. And the more you integrate, the more you are able to see. You're able to see literally, and bring to light these things, and to move within yourself. And that's the way I see it. And the things that I saw as a child, I greatly, I found great importance in, and I found, and I'm still afraid to speak of these things because there's no one around me that knows these things. There's no one around me that so I've had to go through the idea that I myself am insane. And it's just, I mean, I've seen angels, I've seen demons, I've seen things that are so dark and dense just because they are of such weight. They're not necessarily evil, but they are such weight that they just have no light to them. They're really, really heavy. And I've seen them move incredibly fast. And well, what I'm talking about was I was a teenager, I was outside of my house, and I just noticed this being, this humanoid being moving at an incredible speed from my right to my, from my left to my right at the time. And I was just, and with no concern to me whatsoever, and I had no idea why I was seeing this, why I was being allowed to see this, but I just remember thinking, where are you going so fast? Why do you have to be there like right now? It just but these things were constant in my life. There's a being that lives under the hill, about half a mile from my house, that well, a friend of mine, well, actually, I don't know if I call it a friend, but we were doing things that, normal teenagers do, having sex, and this guy appeared and he frightened me a little bit. But the thing is, I had seen these things constantly up until I was probably about 18, 19 years old. And I know this is all coming out fragmented because it's the fragments of me that are just coming into place, and I still haven't been able to put them in place where they need to be. But when I was 19, I had gone to college, and I had taken a mysticism and meditation class. And at that point, I was in the class and we were doing journals and we were journaling, and my journals were very fragmented, and I failed the class, absolutely failed the class, because my professor couldn't read head nor tails of my journals. But at one point, I went to sleep, and we had a black cat by the name of Obi-Wan, like your mother, and her mother was Obi Quiet, and they were both black cats, and they both had the ability to go in and out of doors that were closed. So I had gone to sleep, and I had a feeling that there's something in the room. I woke up and I said, Obi, are you here? Because she would always answer when I'd call her, always. And so, but it wasn't her. So I went back to sleep. I'm thinking, Yana, you're just nuts. Just go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep, and a cold, icy hand pulled me off the bed. I was still, I was teenage. I was I was 19 years old, and I was living with mom and dad. I went and crawled in bed with my mom because that's the safest place ever to be, is in your mom's arms. So I went and crawled in bed with my mom. And I still to this day don't know what that was. But at that point, when I crawled in bed with my mom and dad, and my mom hugged me, I had more visions and went to sleep and woke up with a dream that I had recurrently throughout my life, where I'm carrying an object, and I have to get this object to the temple. And I'm going through this narrow isthmus to the temple, and there are the water is boiling around me. There's fire falling from the sky, the absolute ideation of the end of the world type thing. And then it switches to this place where I'm in this very nice, wet, warm area. What it all boiled down to was the dream was of my birth, was of my hatching. I was a C-section baby. Okay. There was a stripe across the sky, and the sky was pink, and the stripe across the sky, there's blood coming down through the sky, the raining down in the sky. And there's snakes that come in and pull me from heaven. And I've always had this ideation about me that when something gets terrible, it's at its most terrible, there's always a saving grace. And these snakes were yellow, and they came in and they grabbed me and pulled me out. Let me tell you, baby, it's cold out here. It is cold out here. And it's bright. But yeah. And so I learned that if you follow your problems, if you follow your ideations, you follow them through, there's always light there.
Thank you, Yana, for sharing all of that and for being vulnerable. Thank you. Robin, you had your hand up, huh?
I do. Look, I never know how to introduce myself in these meetings. I'm so used to addiction meetings. I'm Robin, and I'm the witch of the woods. There you go. That's today. First of all, I love you, Yana. You know I love you. We've been through some stuff together, and I appreciate you in my reality. I truly do. And Loreli, I appreciate you as well. And I spent a rough week. First of all, I need to talk to Keshia. I love you. You're so amazing. You've grown so much since I've known you. You're just freaking amazing. And Andena, let me talk about the Song of the Souls for a hot second. Let me talk about what that does for me personally. I have a brother that Yana knows. His name is Matu Ra. And I had an issue with my gut here a few years ago. I had a mass come out of my belly button, and my guts were pretty messed up. And it was a similar experience as today when Andena sang. He was on a live feed just like today, and I was in terrible pain. My guts were just terrible pain. And this was before the mass came out of the belly button. This was when it was still trapped in there. And when you do when you do cannabis therapy for cancer, they tell you that the cancer that is not reabsorbed by the body has to come out on the surface somewhere. So it came through my pituitary gland out my belly button. That's how it came out of my body, the residual. And but before that happened, the pain was so intense that I couldn't sit up straight, and I was attending a 96-year-old woman, right? And this crazy man with tattoos on his face and, you know, a British accent came on this live feed, and I was like, oh no, not another lunatic. Here we go. You know, because I'm raised in a very religious home. You know, no tattoos, especially not on your face. What the heck, you know? And you know, all that programming, that social programming that we have that makes us judge a book by its cover, right? And then he started to sing, just like Andena started to sing today. And the pain in my gut stopped, and I went, what, wait, what? And then he stopped singing, and the pain began building again. And then he started singing again, and the pain stopped. And I was like, what is this witchery we have going on here? What's going on here, right? So it makes you think, right? And after that live feed, I reached out to him, and I said, dude, I don't know what this is. I don't know how this works. I don't know what's going on here, but this is what happens when you say. And he began sending me recordings of what he's called the Song of the Soul. And when Sister said today, she said, connecting to all that is, that is what I call God. So when she said all that is, I went, how did I land in this meeting today? Okay, because I've had kidney issues this week, self-inflicted kidney issues, because I didn't drink enough water, because I was focused on everything else going on around me and didn't focus on me, and had severe dehydration this week, and my kidneys were on fire. I mean, just terrible pain. Couldn't even walk, it hurt so bad. And Valerie Adams, that's on this meeting right now, sent me Reiki yesterday. She reached out to me. She said, can I send you some Reiki? And I said, please. And I could feel it, because and Loreli has sent me Reiki on camera and watched as the energy came over me. People have watched as the energy comes over you, and how that experience happens. And when Sister said all that is, that's all I knew. That's all I heard, because I knew whatever happened after that, I was supposed to have happened. Because I tell you what, now the pain is gone. So her Song of the Souls, the vibration in that experience, combined with the Reiki and the hydration. I did hydration with nettles and mullein and orange yesterday, jars of it, just drinking it, right, to regenerate those tissues in my poor dried out kidneys, right, that was really killing me. And thank you, Andena, for helping me personally today with that pain. You know, Loreli, I love you, Loreli. You've done so much for me and so much for my friends and Yana, all you guys, Keshia, you know, and now my circle just keeps growing of people that I have, you know, as allies in this crazy world. And that's how I look at it, you guys. You know, our world is so crazy with 3D crap, you know, and the fact that we can move between dimensions and understand each other's language and understand each other's vibration, to me is just, that's nothing short of a miracle in the world that we have today, with energies that are coming and bombarding us from all sides. The fact that we can come to these circles and connect on a different level about things that aren't acknowledged by societal norms is powerful to me. I just wanted to share that, and thank you all for what you shared today. And Loreli, thank you for hosting this beautiful event, and I love you. And that's what I got.
Thank you, Robin, and I love you too. Thank you for being here and always sharing your wisdom. Adonia, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, it's so synchronistic. You always wonder why you get pulled into something when you do, and nothing is by chance. But the fact that Robin just mentioned Songs of the Soul, what has started to come through me, that's what my guides called it. I've never heard anybody use the phrase Songs of the Soul. And for her to confirm that, like, I'm like, oh my God, my mind is blown, because this is how it's coming through. And that was the label that my guides have given me. And so I bring through these really elaborate light codes that my guides have initially started to call phase shifts. They're like a collection of light codes, and it almost looks like an energetic map is what it looks like, to be honest. But they started calling those phase shifts, and as I progressed, they began to call those songs. And the other night, I got a download that says that what I bring through speaks to the songs. And I was like, well, what are songs? Because the way they used it, it insinuated something else besides just a song. It's a song, it's a frequency, a sound meant to attune song lines, which is how energy lines, ley lines, those energetic lines which lie within the body correspond to. So there's even a text where I recall reading a reference of energy lines or ley lines being referred to as song lines. And so these songs of the soul are intended to harmonize those lines, whether they exist within the earth itself, within the atmosphere, or within the body. And so for Robin to confirm that, she's the second person today who has confirmed that the frequency that I've brought through has settled or help harmonize or balance something that they had that was discordant within the body. Yeah, so I'm just blown away within this moment. So I'm grateful, Loreli, for having been invited, because this has to be the reason that this has to be one of the reasons that I was here, such that could be confirmed for myself, so that I could have some confirmation in that regard. Because I guess that's the way that it goes. You get exposed to something, you get your consciousness gets expanded, and then somewhere down the line that gets confirmed for you through some other channel. So yeah, just wanted to to share that and acknowledge that. Yeah.
I love the beauty of spirit and synchronicities. Nothing ever random. That's beautiful. Does anybody else have anything to share before we move on? Oh, Rev.
I just wanted to, first of all, thank Keshia. He started this chain reaction. And I know it's hit a lot of us that haven't spoke, but it's quite the evidence how connected we truly are, in more ways than we can actually, I like the word up here in the hill, ponder, that we can ponder upon. So I wanted to thank you, Keshia and Yanya. Your energies, Yanya, your energies were amazing speaking. And when Robin was speaking, energies were pouring forth from you. It was amazing. And then when Robin taught the Song of the Soul, beautiful one from Florida, you lit up. Just like you're doing now, that big, beautiful smile you have, you lit up. And just see this flow of energies that started with Keshia and sharing her story, that it will continue to flow. And I just wanted to say it was amazing to watch and to be a part of this. So high blessings to each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, Rev. Always beautiful energies with all of you. Jeff?
I just wanted to resonate and reflect with what Rev Ned was just saying. The chain reaction has been awesome and remarkable. Keshia, you just started off something really phenomenal here. Just your journey leading to everyone else's journey, and just so open, and just one after another, the raising the lid to the ceiling and beyond, the energies and the vibrations here. And and I mean, and Dina, I mean, forget about it. I mean, you're the voice of the angel. I mean, your voice just lifts to the heavens. I mean, thank you for that. It's just awesome to I just wanted to resonate and reflect with Rev Ned said and acknowledging everybody.
Thank you, Jeff. I feel eternally blessed by all of you, and thank you for always being here and putting your loving energy into this space, 'cause that's what makes it. And I truly appreciate. If I'm just going to ask before we move on, is everybody spoke their soul on this? We're going to move on to the meditation. I'm just going to do a chakra meditation for us today. Spirit keeps speaking to me about authentic heart space living. And when we speak of authenticity, sometimes it gets a little confusing. For me, being authentic is truly speaking and being what my soul calls me to be. No matter how that looks on the outside. Plenty of you have heard my conversations and my experiences, and yeah, they don't fit in all walks of life at all, but that's being authentically me. And you can't change that for anyone per se. You can filter it, but as spirit keeps telling me, speak more, talk less. As in, you don't have to fill space with words, but your words should count. And if they're authentic to you and how you truly feel, then it's an accepted truth. That's living from that space that is you. Whether that means you're a multidimensional being, a celestial just checking this place out, whether it means you're a human soul just trying to get through another lifetime, whatever it means to you, that's who you authentically identify as. And it's important to live from that space and everything you do and everything you say. And for me today, that heart space, as spirit keeps trying to show me, is like this beautiful portal right below your heart. And when I see it, it shows me universes and nebulas and star systems, wherever it is you're from and whatever it is that is you shows in that space. And that's the space that says that we are supposed to connect to. That authentic, this is me, this is home. And today I hope to take you there and just feel it and feel that energy brought through your chakra system. I'm just going to start at the crown and imagine this beautiful violet light. Let it flow through you. We're just going to flow it clockwise through your crown. See it shine brighter and brighter and brighter. Just so you feel yourself expand within that space. This is the space of knowledge and enlightenment. We all have that connection to all that is. It is ours to reach out to. It is ours to claim. We are open to all that is. I see this space like a beautiful lit up violet lotus just opening up, like I'm wearing a beautiful crown. And when I work with people, that's what it shows, is this beautiful crown opening. We're just going to move that energy. Keep it flowing. Then we're going to bring it down to our third eye, that beautiful blue indigo. This is where we find our clairvoyance, our intuition, our imagination. This is literally the seed of what we create with. What do you want your creation to look like? Who are you? What do you want to be? You can be anything. We are limitless. This is the space we imagine it into being. This is where we manifest it into creation, where we pull it through and make it a part of us. We're going to move that bright, beautiful indigo light. Just see it glow like a neon blue, moving clockwise to your chakra faster. Let it flow and expand into everything that you are. And we're going to move it lower into the throat chakra. That blue, that royal type blue. This is speaking your truth, that communication, that self-expression. Where abundance flows because we speak it into the world. Don't hold back with what you are and who you are. Don't filter yourself for anyone. Just let that energy flow through you when you're called to speak. Let it light up that beautiful chakra. Just move that blue light clockwise, faster and faster. See it expand in your self-expression. Visualize it in your mind and speak it into existence. I'm going to move it to the heart chakra. Beautiful pink, center of our chest. We're just going to move that energy clockwise. Where we move through unconditional love. We find that compassion, kindness, balance within ourselves. To put love into the world, we must first love ourselves. Feel that love expand. To touch everything around us. Spread it out in an aura. Imagine that pink light hugging everyone in a big space of unity. We are all one. This is the space we connect with. The space we feel. The space we find that empathy and compassion. We're all going through the same thing, just a little. And keep that energy moving. The beautiful pink light. Just clockwise through our chakra and feel it expand. We're sending love to all and everything around us is alive with that unconditional love energy. Down to our solar plexus. Beautiful glowing yellow, sometimes amber, that you see. This is where we find our personal empowerment, where we will, the will that is holy, in the words of my friend Kelly. That energy, that self-esteem, that knowing that we are perfectly capable. We are in unique thought form of creation. Nobody's more capable of being us in this incarnation than us. Don't let anybody tell you who you need to be or how you need to. Take your power and express it. For only you can be that light in this space. Shine your beautiful yellow light. Just see it moving faster and faster through your chakra. Clockwise and expanding. Feel the power flow through you of that knowing. We're going to move it down to the sacral chakra. Beautiful orange, like a sunset. This is where we deal with the relationships, emotions, intimacy, sharing, pleasure, movement. It's where we tap in to all that we are. How we interrelate to everyone around us. Do you see them as a mirror to expand? Do you see that we are all oneness? Often this space is a call for movement. Are you treating your body with enough movement? Are you letting that energy flow through you? This helps our body keep in alignment and that movement of the energy through us. So when you're called to dance, yoga, tai chi, bring that energy back into your space. Feel it move through you. I know sometimes it feels silly just to be moving your hand, or even just a soft hug, or just rocking in your chair. Body needs that comfort, that movement, that rhythmic expression. However it calls out to you to express it. Just imagine that beautiful orange light just moving clockwise through you, brighter and faster in its expansion. And then we're going to move down to the root. Beautiful, bright red. This is where you have that grounding, that trust, those childhood conditionings, nature, our earth center. Everything we have and we think we are often relates to the root. It's time to reprogram. Let go of what doesn't serve you. If it doesn't bring you joy, it was never meant for you. And it's okay to let things go for a little. If they're meant to, they'll return. This is where we ground to the earth, to get back in nature. That keeps coming to me very, very often right now. To have that connection. Get your hands in the soil, plant something. Sit with your feet in the sand, even if it's in the little box where you're sitting at your desk. Get a plant for your room, a water fountain, something that connects you and just makes you remember that you're a part of everything that is. And those energies want to work with you. The trees, the water, the land, sky, everything is sentient and alive. Speak to it, let it flow through you. It can teach you so many things about yourself. We're just going to move that beautiful red light. Let it flow clockwise. Faster and faster clockwise. Feel it expand and grow roots into the earth. See those beautiful red tentacles of light. Expand out and connect you to everything that is. Know that you are one, you are loved, and you are powerful. Thank you for this space. Take a deep breath and bring yourself back in. Thank you. This is where we open it up for our intention. We have a full moon coming up. So if we'd like to share our intentions of healing or prayer at this time, you're all welcome to share that. Is there anyone who would like to set an intention? As soon as we're all grounded and ready.
I'll share mine. My
Thank you.
intention is to create and allow myself space to step into my divine feminine energy.
Beautiful. Thank you, Keshia. Anyone else? We'll be sending energy to these in just a moment. Debbie?
Yeah, I'll just say that I'd like my intention to be to accept myself,
Very beautiful. Thank you, Debbie. I love you.
Thank you. Yeah, however it presents. But I mean, to accept whatever I mean, I'm trying.
All we can do, one day at a time, one moment sometimes. Thank you. Anyone else have an intention?
Okay.
Andonia?
Yeah, I would add just a complete and deeper heart-centered openness, the ability to live, move, and breathe from that heart-centered open space.
Beautiful. Thank you. Beautiful. Anyone else? You can set one silently if you don't want to share it publicly.
Hi.
Katie.
For me to not talk so much and for me to actually just listen to what myself as my guide is self is saying instead of just talking so much.
Okay. Thank you, Nadine. Anyone else?
Also,
Jeff?
brief thought, just the intention of just continuing to better express myself about who I am. Still learning.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jeff. Anyone else? I just want to give everybody an opportunity before we send energy out.
I'd like to say one more thing too.
Okay.
And since we all learn from each other and from each other's experiences, which is beautiful. And just understanding that everyone is on a different level, different timeline, different frequency. So just understanding everyone else's, whether it's a struggle
Yeah.
or trying to understand what's going on, it helps us teach and learn. So we know that that's maybe something that's next that's coming to each of us.
Thank you, Nadine. Okay.
Thinking at night. Got nothing better to do than think.
All right. At this time, we're going to send 5 minutes out towards everyone's intentions and healing. Their silent requests as well as their public. Just want to go in that space, take a deep breath, and energy to each of your intentions. Okay, pull that cone of energy back. Thank you for your loving energy for all and all those watching. At this time, we're going to move on to our intuitive message. Jeff Kelson is our channeler here. He brings us messages from the collective. Jeff?
Yeah, never know where this is going to go. So the light being in this atmosphere of raised frequency. I'm reminded of the need to speak loudly to be heard. So I am purposely moving physically to do that. I embrace your connection, your shared visions of yourself, and I offer a different connecting point. You to connect with yourselves deeper inside, to love you embrace, to love yourselves and each other, to be very connected with everyone and everything in unity, and the love you all embrace deeper and deeper. Fully embrace yourselves and who you are with complete love. Take it in, fully embrace it in every cell of your body. To appreciate yourselves, to love yourselves. Embrace the gift that you are. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you for those who brought that message to me. Thank you. At this time, we reflect how important what he said truly is, of embracing yourself. Thank you. I always open this space for anyone else who is getting an intuitive message that they feel called to share with the collective. So at this time, if anyone else has something that they would like to share that's coming through to them, you're welcome to share it in this space.
My team is saying, be easy on you. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself the leniency and the freedom to just explore and discover yourself. Being in the physical form is not easy, it's challenging. That's the nature of existence within the 3D space. So be easy on yourself. Be patient with you as you come into remembrance of who and what you are. Detaching from the program is a challenge because that's the existence that we've all lived under for so many years until we awaken to the realization of more. And so within that space, allow yourself the time. That's what you have within this 3D space. That is a gift in itself. Time is a gift. So grant yourself the time and the space, the isolation and the freedom to discover what it is to be you, to feel into what it is to be you, to get familiar with what it is to be you. Take your time within that space and don't rush it, because everything comes into form in divine time and in divine order. You are where you are. You are where you are. There is no supposed to be. There is no must be. Must. There is no have tos. There are no have tos. You are where you are in the now moment, and allow yourself to be within that space.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Adonia. Thank you. Anyone else before we move on? Okay. Then we wrap it up with our beautiful closing blessing from our one and only Rev Ned with his beautiful words. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank each and every one of you. Before I even do the closing blessing, I keep all the words you've all said is like finding discovering the authentic us. And we get it at first during the meditation, I was thinking like we get it in fragments, but some of us just get little smaller parts, speckles and little flicks is what coming, little flickers, little flicks, like I kept seeing an electric connected to them, little orbs that when we're discovering, because everyone out there, almost everyone, wants us to be somebody else. And we are unique. If we could see a mirror right now in front of you, you look into that mirror, you see an amazing being. For 40 plus years, I've called it tags, full of talents, abilities, gifts, divine purposes, plural, your cosmic potentials, unlimited. We are amazing beings of the mystical more. That's really, really amazing. Can you all still see me?
Yeah, you're visible.
Good. My screen went totally blank. The sound vibrations of the breath of the sacred whistle are calling us to close this most sacred gathering in good ways, to honor our connectedness and the high energies of spirit wrapped in pure love and our divine connections to one another. As this sacred whistle of the winged ones connect us to the mystical more within us and beyond us, so too are we called in many ways to be the authentic being we came here to be. As the eagles soar high above us and the currents of air, being the authentic creation they are, the spirit of the eagle is calling us. Yes, beautiful beings, we have the the flowing currents within our being to be authentic, to be ourselves, our real selves. Being and living an authentic life requires us to know and own who we are. We gather in these holy ways to help one another, to stir the incredible energies of authenticity. This gathering of love and support is here to honor you and empower you toward the real you. Psychologists say babies are naturally authentic until the social connections impact and influence their lives that bring fissures and cracks in their foundation of being themselves. Our authentic selves can be found and expanded, and then it blooms and grows in wonderful ways. We give thanks from our thoughts and our hearts for those who have participated in this celebration of consciousness. The spirit of the eagle says to live authentic lives through your essence, through your heart space, and through your head space. Spirit of the eagle says, do not filter your being for sake of feeling accepted. Yes, it's time to utilize the present time and the current energies to fly and soar in the air currents of the divine wind of who you really are. Mama Eagle says, once there was an eaglet found in the woods by a farmer who brought the eaglet to the farm and placed her in with the chickens. This eaglet grew and thought it was a chicken because of its culture, the chickenhood. It ate like a chicken, walked like a chicken, spending its life in the chickenhood because this misplaced one thought she was a chicken. In her golden years, she saw this magnificent bird flying overhead. And the elder chicken said, that is an eagle, royalty of the air currents. We are here on the ground because we are chickens. Spirit of the eagle says, it's time to be the authentic, dynamic, incredible you. And in this finding, you will discover divine gifts within you and around you to assist you and encourage you and to love you. The energies are amazing when our authentic selves is found, discovered, and wrapped, and then expands. I hear a sacred voice saying to you, love yourself, and then you can truly love others. Being authentic allows the cosmic energies to flow through you in beautiful and creative ways. Yes, the high current winds speak your love, your light, and your authenticity. There will be cosmic fruit for you. Cosmic fruit that others in the cosmos needs that will flow through you. Yes, your gift, the real you. Till we gather again in these precious, meaningful waves of beauty and spirit and love and connectedness. Yes, beautiful souls, we are the mystical more. And until next time, let us send one another beautiful energies of pure love, light, and tranquility.
Matakiase.
Matakiase.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rev.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I thank you all for being here today, for sharing this space, this light, and this love with us. I hope you'll join us again next month. I believe it's June 3rd for our next celebration. In the meantime, I send you with love and blessings. From my heart to yours, shine bright. Thank you for being here.